Hello everyone. Rome has articulated that the United States became the world's largest supplier of raw materials out of every industrialized nation, and the productions of these materials greatly expanded between 1880 and 1930. Within the first half of the 19th century, the U.S. developed a technological lead. A good way to analyze the effects of the technological, material, and production lead, especially after World War II, is a multimodality framework as proposed by Louis Galabino, where he specifies analyzing economics, sociology, and history. Adding in a touch of storytelling and historical science as proposed by Don McCloskey, one intriguing story that covers economics, sociology, history, material production is Wise Brown and her famous Tupperware parties. The story of Tupperware and Wise Brown must begin with the industrial waste of oil refining transferred into polyethylene, also called slag. The story can be traced back to Earl Silas Tupper, who just happened to meet Bernard Doyle, who ran a plastic manufacturing division for DuPont. Mr. Tupper took a job for DuPont in 1937. However, only a year later, it was his time to take his background and education from DuPont and set up his own company. He started the Earl S. Tupperware Company and subcontracted work through DuPont. Business through the war was exceptional. He was able to get defense contracts making signal lamps and gas masks. However, as the war came to an end, he tried to venture into more consumer products such as cigarette cases or sandwich picks. However, his best-selling product and his name for fame was the Tupper Seal, an airtight, watertight lid modeled after the lid for a paint container. Today, we colloquially call all the same base products, no matter the name, Tupperware. However, Americans at this point did not trust plastic. Most of the early plastic molds were greasy and smelly. Tupper had to open the eyes of the American consumer. However, Mr. Tupper was unsuccessful in his marketing. He tried to sell to department stores, but he failed. As Business Week reported in 1954, it fell flat on his face. Anne Elizabeth Moore points out that during World War II, women took many of the jobs that men previously had. As the war came to an end, GIs came home, and men were returning to the manufacturing jobs that women had held in their absence. Suffice to say, many women returned to previous roles as housewives and caretakers. However, not all women were satisfied with that role, and many wanted to become entrepreneurs of their own, although the stakes were high. One of those women is Brownie Wise. After divorcing her husband in 1942, Wise worked as a secretary and salesperson in the clothing shop. However, to make ends meet, she also started selling Stanley Home products. Stanley products utilized home party demonstrations and direct selling. Because of Brownie's strong charisma and ambition, she became one of the top sellers. However, later on, her other branch managers started to sell Tupperware at home parties. Instead of just a mere demonstration for her Wise, her Tupperware parties became an actual party. In 1950, Wise started a company called Tupperware Patio Parties. Her success with the patio parties and Tupperware sales soon caught the attention of Earl Tupper. Earl previously failed in his attempts at selling his products in department sales and also failed at his own home party sales. In 1951, Earl Tupper hired Wise as his vice president of marketing, which was very rare at the time for women. Under Wise, the company and sales flourished. The Tupperware party strategy improved. The leader would show large groups how to use kitchenware and play dramatic party games. One iconic example is filling a Wonder Bowl with grape juice and tossing it around the room. Wise started a weekly newsletter and really stressed Tupperware selling as a lifestyle, which empowered women. Under Wise and her Tupperware party model, the company grew. For example, in 1954, Tupperware sales hit 25 million. In 1954, there were 20,000 people in the network of managers, distributors, and dealers. Wise's fame grew. She appeared in newspapers across the country, women's magazines, even becoming the first woman to be on the cover of Business Week. She became the face of the company. However, Tupper and her began fighting over strategy and management, and the relationship between the two grew cold. Furthermore, the press continually put Wise on the face of the company. Moreover, as time went on, Tupper was looking to sell and was getting lucrative offers. Tupper thought it would be easier to sell a company without a woman vice president, and in 1958 he fired her. She was able to take Tupper to court but only received $30,000 for a settlement. In the end, Wise's system gave women at a time when they were returning to domestic life a chance to work on their own schedule and their own terms. Her home party sales became and are still the gold standards of home marketing strategies. Companies like Mary Kay have taken her methods and succeeded. Wise's work has been written about extensively by Bob Sealing in Tupperware Unsealed and is part of the American Experience series on PBS, which can be seen in Season 16, Episode 6.